What's up, guys? Do you feel sometimes that your joints are limiting you in your workouts? So your joints hurting? Are your knees, shoulders, elbows? Are you getting those pains from lifting heavy weights all the time? Are you finding that that pain is limiting you in your workouts and maybe even slowing you down? Well, today I'm going to show you a trick that's going to help you keep building muscle, but help save those joints, help you recover, and help you grow in just 5 seconds. So what is this mystical training method that I'm talking about? It is known as time under tension training. This is going to involve eccentric loading, concentric loading, and isometric holds. But what it's not going to involve is you smashing your joints to pieces. This is not going to require heavy loads. It's going to require you to have a good mind to muscle connection, which is something we always want to build. And today I'm going to show you one exercise for every body part that you can put into your training routine to help you develop that muscle, but also give your joints that little bit of respite that they might need. You can put this into your normal routine. And obviously, as you get better at this, maybe put 2 exercises into each routine, but for starting out, just one will do the job. Let's crack on. So we're going to start it out on the lower parts. We're going to start with some leg extensions. Now the process of this is going to be 5 seconds over 4 phases. So we're going to be doing a concentric, an isometric, an eccentric, and then a stretch, each one for 5 seconds. Most important thing on this is going to be the longest explanation because so many people fuck this up. You want the pivot point in line with your knees. You want the back of your knees on the pad. If your knees are not on this pad and they're further forward and there's a gap here, you're going to put stress on the knees and bust them up. Bad times. Handles are here for a reason. Grip and pull on the handles as you drive. That's going to keep your hips down. How many people do you see doing this stuff? That's because they're not thinking about their body. They're thinking about moving weight from A to B. This method is going to make you think about mind to muscle, and it's going to make you think about contractions and help you connect and also find bad habits that you've got and help you fix them. So find a weight that you can do around 20 reps on. We're going to be doing 8 reps of the slow holds. Then we're going to finish with 12 normal reps. The 5-second phases, easy. We're going to come up for 5-second count. Feet parallel. 2, 3, 4, 5. At the top, point the toes. Squeeze the quads. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the toes in. Start lowering down over 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As it comes towards the base, don't let the stack touch. And hold that stretch there. Hold that load. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to repeat this 8 times, slow and steady each way. This is going to stop you kicking out and having those bad habits of just swinging the weight through. Once you've done all 8 of these and you get to the bottom, you get that final 5 count hold, then it's straight in, 12 reps, gripping those handles, keeping those feet parallel and toes up this time. If you want to, you can point the toes, but a little less control. You're getting those 12 reps and you're going to really feel that burn, that blood right in the muscle. Once you hit that 12, down, rest. You're going to do 3 to 5 sets of this, and I promise you, you will feel nothing like it. You will have no joint pain, but maximum muscle activation. Next up, arms. So triceps, we're going to be using the V-bar and the cables. Now you can alternate the grip accordingly as you play with this. Don't be afraid. What I show you here, you can take it and go, but then go and twist things around and make a move as you see fit. But we're going to take, again, same thing, a rep range where you can do 20 reps on that weight, 8 and 12s like before. For this, pointers, shoulders back, rib cage down, hips slightly kicked back. What we're not doing is leaning over. From here, you're going to keep that scapula engaged. You're going to pull down with the elbows, and this is your start position. Start right, you'll finish right. From here, we're going to come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, flex that tricep at the bottom. Look how my arm is at an angle. What I'm not doing is this. Arms at a slight angle, and I'm squeezing that tricep. I've got a little bit of flexion at the wrist. Then I come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No elbow movement, no swinging back and forward, shoulders still in place. At the top now, I'm going to squeeze my biceps and help stretch that tricep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before starting all over again. 8 reps like that, and then we're going to move straight in. 12 reps, strong, focusing, no swinging. Squeezing that tricep at the bottom, squeezing that bicep at the top. Bam, 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 bam. Biceps. Bicep curls with the straight bar on the cables. Now we're doing it on the cables because it can offer constant tension if you put a little bit of a body lean on. But you can do this with dumbbells, you just got to be super controlled and not get lazy. What we're looking for on this, we're looking to keep our elbows tight and in a fixed position. What I'm not doing is letting my elbows swing back and forth. Again, my rib cage is down, my scapula is engaged, and I'm not pigeon necking. So tuck that chin in and keep that nice alignment. From here, we're going to come up over 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Squeeze at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not doing this. Keeping those shoulders down now, because this is the point where people want to do that hunch over and shoulder release. We're going to release out, away from the body. 5, 4. Now the biceps under tension. 3, 2, 1. Get to that bottom. Keep an angle on the arm now. That's going to keep tension on the bicep. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1 before returning. Nice and slow. And look at the tension on the muscle. Veins popping. This is not heavy weight. If I was to just rep this all day, but you do it this way, you create an overload with light weight. And like I said, once you've done those 8 reps, back in with those 12, keeping that form, no swinging, not letting the elbows kick back, elbows fixed, shoulders back, chest up, rib cage down, chin in, boom. Big biceps, 5 seconds. Next up, shoulder press. Now this is one that causes a lot of pain for a lot of people. It's also one where people have a lot of bad habits and get injured from it. By doing the slow work on this, by doing the time under tension, we're going to realize those bad habits and we're going to help create that mind to muscle and form connection. We're going to do this without a supporting back on this one. But if you find it's a little unstable without it, you can put the bench seat upright and have that as a rest point behind you. Bring the dumbbells up. We're going to turn them out. This is our start point. I want my rib cage down. I'm going to make sure my feet are planted, and from here, I'm going to tilt the dumbbell heads in. Real little tilt, bing! This is going to keep it all focused on that shoulder. I'm going to come up over 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. This is working my core and everything now. At the top, what I'm not doing, banging and touching. Coming up, straight arms, shoulders down, not hitching. Then coming back down the exact same way we went up, over 5 seconds. 2, 1, get to that base, keep that load point, don't let it touch the shoulders, hold for 5, and then repeat. Obviously once we get 8 reps in from these, then we're going to try and maintain that postural strength, rib cage down, keep it controlled, and rep 12 reps to the death, to the pump. And tell me, after doing that, give it one go, and tell me that doesn't feel as good as those heavy ass shoulder presses you ground through, gritted your teeth on, and ended up tearing up some fucking tendons. So a bit of chest. We're going to be using, if you have one of these single arm plate loaded chests. Single arm's the best. What we don't want is something that moves in a uniform manner where you move the left and the right moves automatically. We want that independent arm. So if you don't have one of these, opt for a dumbbell variation instead. But these are one of the best ones, especially if you're trying to protect the shoulders, if you do this correctly. So what we're looking for is, we want the handles to be around about nipple height. So I want that just one click up. That's perfect. What I want to do here is I want to make sure that I'm planting my feet and driving my hips back into the machine. You'll see a lot of people's hips creeping forward as they try and press out and struggle. That's not what we want. We want to keep all that drive in the pad behind us so we have something to press against. Same as a bench press on this, what we want to be looking at is arching that lower back, pressed against the machine, but keeping the rib cage down. We're going to be rolling the elbows in a little bit, and as we come down, we're going to keep our lats contracted, and as we drive out, keeping all that contraction explode out. Taking that load, this is going to be a part where we come back down to. That point just off where the pads touch, but what I don't want is an overstretch on the shoulders. So making sure that the handles are in front of the chest, not right alongside where we're just going to be stretching tendons. 5 seconds up, 3, 2, 1, making sure that my elbows look uniform. A lot of people you'll see have one rotated out or one rotated in. That's usually due to shoulder impingement of some form, so take note. Holding at the top, what I'm not doing is locking my arms out and putting all the load on the elbow. Keeping my shoulders back, and just before complete lockout of the joints, I'm holding it here, 5 seconds. Then eccentric, 5 seconds, and what I'm not doing on this is allowing the shoulders to hitch up and the elbows to come high. I'm keeping those shoulders down, chest up, rib cage down, driving my heels into the floor, hips back. 3, 2, 1. Then we get to that stop point, a natural stretch. Don't overstretch. That's your whole point for the 5, and then repeat. Obviously, once we've done this 8 times, just as before, we're going to get down to that bottom load, hold it for that final 5 before exploding back out now. Everything we've just engaged, everything we've just created in that mind to muscle connection, boom, 12 reps, squeeze, force that blood in, but make that muscle work. And we're only using a lightweight single 20k plates on the side on that. Is going to be plenty for that. Again, a 20 rep range, and you will feel this in the chest. If you feel it in the shoulders, reset, adjust, learn, keep going. Back, and for this one we're going to be using the lat pull down. I love this machine, but it is one that people often have a big disconnect in their shoulder areas. They also don't have a lot of control with their rib cage and midsection. This is going to help fix all of that, plus keep a healthy scapula, because your scapula are going to be crucial here in controlling the shoulders. What we're looking for is not an overly wide grip. Grip to wherever is natural. If you're not over 6 foot, you don't need to be grabbing the edge of the bars. Just use your sense on where it feels good. We're going to grip just past the bend anyway. We're going to sit and make sure our knees are pinned underneath this pad. Your feet should be solid to the floor with a right angle up into the pad, and you shouldn't be able to move your legs underneath that pad. That's important because we're going to drive against it. From here, we're going to set shoulders back and down, rib cage down, chest up. It's going to feel weird and a little bit tight, but it's perfect. From here, we're going to pull from the elbows. The movement starts here, not at the hands. We're going to pull down from the elbows, 5 seconds. Get to that top. Squeeze point is here, not here. Don't try and come overly low. Just to the top of the chest or wherever it feels natural for a squeeze. Drive your elbows and almost like you're trying to pin your lats under your armpit. Squeeze and don't let that rib cage pop up. Then release, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the shoulders down, and then hold for 5 seconds at the top. Then it's just 8 reps of that repetition. 5 down, a 5 hold. Making sure the shoulders aren't rounding forward, chest up, rib cage down, pull it as close to the face as possible. 5 on that way back up, and then we're going to rep those 12 reps again. But what we're not going to do is start fucking swinging. No aping around. What we want, keep that chest nice and high, put the rib cage down, arching the lower back, and we're going to pull through clean and rep. Thinking about those contraction points and thinking about that controlled release. 12 reps, really feel that stretch, and you will feel that from here all the way down. If you're feeling it in your shoulders or anywhere else, you need to readjust that control of the shoulders, keep those scapula engaged. This is a fantastic movement, and it looks great when the camera's behind you, not in front of you.
Sorry, mate. So Lex wanted a back shot, so there's the back shot.
Last but not least, we're back on the leg extension machine, and this one is for seated hamstring curls. The reason we're doing this over lying curls is because there is no lower back tension when we do it this way. So for setup on this, the same rules apply. We want our knees in line with the pivot point. We want that seat further back rather than too far forward, if anything. We're going to grip on the handles. As we curl under, what we don't want is to allow, as soon as we pull, those hips to shoot forward. You'll see this all the time. People end up halfway down the seat here. What they're doing is using their body weight to pull the weight through. We're going to keep our grip on the handles. We're going to push our hips back. If you have a pad that comes across the knees here, what you can do is actually reach forward and lean and grab in front of you here, so that you end up with a heavier stretch on the negative. You're gonna feel it way more. If you don't have it like we don't have here, we're gonna push ourselves back into the seat. We're gonna curl through with our heels, keeping our toes up. So we're gonna curl for that 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze at the bottom, and what you want to think about here is squeezing like you would squeeze a bicep. You should feel that. The hamstrings are the biceps of the leg. So squeeze, hold. What we don't want to allow is those hips to shift forward, knees to shift up. Everything stays down. The body's going to want to compensate, fight it. Then 5 seconds hold, back up, eccentrically, 5 seconds. Again, don't let the hips shoot forward. Don't let those knees rise. Think about pushing your knees down through your legs as the feet come up. Hold that top point, don't let the stack touch for 5 before repeating the process again. Once we've done those 8 reps, when we get to that final hold, once we come back to the top, we're going to hold for that 5 seconds, and then we're going to rep in And again, once you start repping, don't start sliding, get that full negative stretch, keep those hips back. If you're finding you're not really getting that stretch on the negative or the stack's hitting too early, lean a little bit forward and really hold and grip with an underhand grip on the machine and keep those hips down so you end up being here. And then you're really going to be able to feel and control that stretch. This is vitally important to make sure you control at the knees and the hips. This is going to burn like a mother. It is going to really, really hurt. It's going to test you. So start light. Think about control and contraction. Throughout all of these exercises, control and contraction. But what it's going to prove to you is you have a good mind to muscle connection that you can build. You have errors that you're going to see from having to go slow rather than fast that you're going to be able to fix. And once you do that, when you translate this back into lifting heavy, those weights are going to move smoother, they're going to move more controlled, and more importantly, you're going to know what you can lift in real weight rather than just weight you can shift from A to B. As I've said before, I'll say it again. Don't shift it, lift it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. This has been time under tension training. 5 seconds, 4 phases to a bigger, better you. Catch me in the next episode. If you have any comments, make sure to leave them down below. Hit that notification bell to make sure you're notified of all these videos so you don't miss out on anything. I'm Lex and I'll catch you in the next one. Boom, baby.
Lately I've been doing shit different, cooking like a chef, I've been all up in the kitchen. Had to make a move, had to make a little distance. Lot of people tripping, they could never see the vision. Fuck that, tell them bounce.